Hi, my name is Thomas Jackson. I'm going to be discussing jQuery and JavaScript. jQuery is the choice that I made for my research project. Before I start talking about jQuery, I wanted to give a short background about JavaScript. Creator of JavaScript, Brendan Eich, now the CEO of the Mozilla Corporation, he developed JavaScript to dynamically create web pages for Netscape's browser back in the early 90s, formally released in 1995. During early development, JavaScript was now known as Mocha, and then later LiveScript before renaming to be JavaScript. JavaScript was released as version 1.0 and is currently version 1.8.5. So, what is jQuery? jQuery is a collection of JavaScript libraries for selecting operators and elements. These are then used to operate JavaScript in a larger scope. This keeps developers from having to microcode, meaning that developers can push out more code in a shorter period of time rather than having to code widgets and plugins from scratch. So what are some of the reasons to use jQuery other than the fact you'll be able to punch out more code in a less amount of time? Well, for one, it's very easy to use, and it comes with a lot of documentation on how to implement jQuery libraries into your code. It has cross-browser support and is very fast, which means that it has a lot of testing for the most part and has developed through years to become a much faster means of not only coding, but also it's safer and also more efficient on the CPU. As I just said, jQuery is fairly easy to use, so there are few steps in getting it to work with your code. First of all, you just need to find a reason to use jQuery. Whether it be finding a menu widget or plugin to use with forms on your web page. You just have to understand what you need and how to find it. After that, you want to read through the documentation and then link that code to the web server, which would be downloading it via a URL or download and copy the code directly into the document. While JavaScript and jQuery are not necessarily new technologies, they still are provided support, and you'll find major companies supporting them via their web browsers, and most recently Microsoft announced in the most recent reports support for jQuery library support and Internet Explorer 9 and also a new JavaScript engine. And the resources that I used for this was the History of JavaScript Part 1 written by Alex Young, as well as the document Creating Dynamic Web Pages Using jQuery by Emily Miller Francisco, as well as the article Microsoft Pushes Boundaries on Web Cloud Development, found in Computer Protocols